The Warriors and the Denver Nuggets are very similar in that they both have played very well this season despite injuries to key players. Back in January, the Warriors were 29-7 and were cruising to not only the 1 seed in the West, but the best record in the NBA. Injuries to Steph Curry and Draymond Green caused the Warriors to slow down from that impressive start, but they still managed to get over 50 wins and finish as the 3rd seed. The Denver Nuggets have also been one of the most injury-riddled teams in the league this season, as they've been without Jamal Murray and Michael Porter Jr. all year. Despite missing 2 of their 3 best players, the Nuggets have remained playoff-bound thanks to the MVP-level play of Nikola Jokic and the play of solid veterans like Aaron Gordon, Monte Morris, and Jeff Green. But even without 2 of their top players, the Nuggets are still an extremely tough matchup. The Trailblazers learned this last season when they lost to a Nuggets team that didn't have Jamal Murray in the series. With that said, let's look at the strengths and weaknesses of both teams, the main players that need to step up, and the keys to success for both teams, and I'll make a prediction on who wins the series. Let's start off by talking about the strengths and weaknesses of the Warriors. One of the Warriors' biggest strengths is their defense. Golden State has remained elite on the less glamorous end of the court all season, as they're tied for number 1 in defensive efficiency with Boston. This is extremely impressive for a team that has been missing their Defensive Player of the Year candidate Draymond Green for a huge chunk of the year. Even without Draymond, the Warriors have players like Andrew Wiggins, Kevon Looney, and Gary Payton II, who are all great defenders. Because of their suffocating defense, Golden State is often able to survive scoring droughts throughout games. The Warriors' tough defense makes them a really difficult matchup for any opponent in the playoffs. The next strength of Golden State is their elite ball movement. Instead of letting one player dominate the ball for long stretches of time, the Warriors move the ball around very well, which gets everyone involved in the offense. And they've played this style for years now. Not only does this offensive philosophy create great shots, but it boosts the team morale and encourages everyone to play hard and defend because everyone gets an opportunity to score. The last strength we'll talk about is the Warriors' multiple scoring options. The Warriors have a bunch of guys that can flat out take over games. The Dubs have 2 All-Stars in Steph Curry and Andrew Wiggins, who could get hot at any moment, but they also have Klay Thompson and Jordan Poole, who are both threats for 30 on any given night. Jordan Poole has stepped up in a big way in the absence of Steph Curry, averaging 26 points per game in his last 15 games. In that same stretch, Klay Thompson has also rediscovered his all-star form, averaging 22 points per game. Having a bunch of guys that can take over games is a huge advantage. Next, let's discuss their weaknesses. The first major weakness of the Warriors is their mediocre offense. The Warriors' offense was at one point top 5, but now it's just middle of the pack as they rank just 15th in offensive efficiency on the season. The injury to Steph Curry plays a role, but this can also be attributed to the regression of Andrew Wiggins. Since the All-Star game, Wiggins is averaging just 15 points per game on 42% shooting from the field and 33% from 3. Not the type of numbers you expect from an All-Star. Wiggins will have to step up for the Warriors to go on a deep playoff run. Draymond Green's absence has also hurt the Warriors' offense. We know he doesn't score many points and he really struggles to shoot from deep, but Draymond is really valuable for his playmaking. The injuries to their key guys has definitely played a role in the Warriors' offense underachieving. The last weakness for the Dubs we'll discuss is their lack of size. The Warriors are great defensively, but they're pretty thin up front. Kevon Looney is a good defender, but he's an undersized big at just 6'9". James Wiseman is over 7 feet tall, but he's been ruled out for the entire year. This lack of size could hurt the Dubs, particularly against the Nuggets, because of the Nikola Jokic matchup. Nikola Jokic is an absolute beast, and the Warriors simply don't have the personnel to defend him 1v1. Now let's talk about the Denver Nuggets' strengths and weaknesses. The biggest strength of the Nuggets is their incredible offense. The Nuggets, despite missing 2 key starters, are one of the top offensive teams in the league, ranking 6th in offensive efficiency on the season. The Joker's amazing playmaking and extremely efficient scoring make him an absolute offensive juggernaut, and players like Aaron Gordon and Will Barton have done a great job of playing off of the Joker and scoring on the open opportunities that he creates. The next strength I'll discuss is the Nuggets' ball movement. Just like the Warriors, the Nuggets do a great job of moving the ball and finding the open man. In fact, The Nuggets average more assists than the Warriors, ranking 3rd in the league in assists per game. Obviously, the Joker's elite playmaking leads the way. His passing ability is absolutely off the charts, but the Nuggets as a team also do a great job of playing unselfishly and swinging the ball around, sacrificing good shots for great shots. Now let's talk about weaknesses. While their offense is great, the Nuggets struggle on the defensive end, ranking just 19th in defensive efficiency. The Nuggets have poor defensive guards that tend to give up dribble penetration, and the Joker, while improved defensively, is still limited as a rim protector. Being a bad defense is usually a huge problem in the playoffs because you need to get stops when your shooting goes cold. The last weakness is the Nuggets' lack of elite shot creation. Other than the Joker, the Nuggets don't have a second elite scorer. The second highest scorer on the Nuggets is Aaron Gordon at just 15 points per game. The Nuggets have remained a great offensive team without an elite second scorer, but in the playoffs, having great shot creators that can turn nothing into something matters. The last time the Nuggets went deep in the playoffs was in 2020, and not only was the Joker playing great, but Jamal Murray was absolutely at the top of his game. Last year without Murray, the Nuggets did get out of the first round, but they suffered a gentleman's sweep by the Suns in the second round. Speaking of Jamal Murray, it's also worth mentioning that the Nuggets haven't ruled out his potential return, but even if he does return this series, it's not reasonable to expect him to play at an elite level after a year of not playing professional basketball. The point is, not having another great scorer besides Joker could be a huge problem. Now let's talk about players that need to step up for both teams. For the Warriors, one of the players that I see that need to step up the most is Andrew Wiggins. As stated before, Wiggins has been underwhelming post All-Star break. They need Wiggins to play how he was playing in the first half of the year, where he was averaging 19 points per game while playing elite defense. Andrew Wiggins can be a great scorer. For him, it's all about his aggressiveness. Steph also needs to step up in a big way. Not only is he coming off an injury, but this season has been a down year for his standards. He's averaging 25 points per game, but he's scoring the ball on his second worst efficiency of his career. It may be unreasonable to expect Steph to be at the top of his game the second he returns from injury, but they're going to need him to play well this series. For the Nuggets, I expect the Joker to play at a superstar level, but it'll be his teammates that determine if the Nuggets can win this series. For Denver, I look at Aaron Gordon to be the main guy that needs to step up. I think Gordon will need to increase his scoring average from 15 to at least 20 points per game in this series. This means he's going to need to be more aggressive on offense and look for his shot more. Will Barton and Monte Morris are also players that need to step up on offense for Denver to realistically win. If Joker maintains his MVP level of play and everybody else picks up their scoring, Denver has a shot at pulling off this upset. Lastly, let's discuss the keys to success for both teams. One of the keys to success for the Warriors will be how they guard the Joker. Nikola Jokic is too good for the Warriors to guard him one-on-one. The Dubs will need to send him plenty of traps and double teams to force him to give the ball up. Joker's teammates are more than capable of hitting open looks, but this is probably a better outcome than allowing Nikola Jokic to get hot. Another key is, can the Warriors take advantage of the Nuggets' poor perimeter defense? The Nuggets really struggle to contain opposing guards, so this is a series where Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, and Jordan Poole have to cook. For the Nuggets, the key for them is, can Joker's teammates score efficiently on the open looks? The Warriors will likely send plenty of double teams, and guys like Monte Morris and Will Barton, who to their credit are good shooters, must capitalize on the open looks. There's no doubt in my mind that Jokic will play well in this series, but it'll ultimately be his teammates that will be the main determining factor. Overall, this should be a very fun series. While Golden State is the favorite, I think this series will be a lot closer than some fans may think. Nikola Jokic has a very favorable matchup and can easily be the best player in this series. The Warriors have more offensive firepower on paper, but Steph Curry has missed a lot of time with injury and will be forced back into high-pressure basketball. It's likely unreasonable that he'll be 100% once this series starts. Furthermore, Andrew Wiggins hasn't played well post All-Star break, and the Warriors as a team generally hasn't played well since Steph went down with his foot injury. I think this series will be close, but I think Golden State will win primarily to having more talent, but I also think Denver is very capable of pulling off the upset. My prediction for this series is Golden State in 7. Anyway guys, that's going to be the end of the video. Who do you think is going to win this series and in how many games? Tell me in the comments. If you enjoyed this video and want to see more dope content just like it, drop a like on the video and subscribe. Thanks for watching and have a great rest of your day.